do you want to play a facsimile of creativity? Like, do you want to play
Yeah, exactly.
an average, a lowest common denominator like game? Uh,
Yeah.
I guess people who don't know any better.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 88 of the Sandbox.Space weekly podcast. I'm your host, Chris. Of course, always joined by Baby Girl, who's in my lap, Pumpkin, who's on her little cat hotel. She's eyeing something, so I'm sure trouble is on its way. And of course, every week we bring a special guest. This week's guest is Tom Allenbaugh. How are you, Tom?
Hello, I'm all right. I had it was kind of up late. It was choir night, so and my choir likes to drink, so it
Mm-hmm.
makes every night a late night.
Yeah. I went to your choir rehearsal, was that a couple months ago? Little
Yeah.
intro.
Oh yeah.
Had some interesting conversations. So that
Yeah.
was fun.
We're gearing up for our Christmas concert. So that's actually the 7th.
Awesome. Yeah, I was gonna ask
Sunday the
when
7th.
is that? The 7th?
Yeah, 7th at 4 p.m.
Okay. Is that a Saturday?
Oh, it's Sunday.
Sunday, 4 p.m. Okay. I don't know if I can make
Yeah,
Sunday,
anybody in
but
Columbus, come down to the German Village on that weekend, Saturday or Sunday, where we have our little Christmas market in German Village down in High Street, right next to the McDonald's. You can't miss it.
awesome. Awesome. Well, why don't we get started? How's that feel? On this day before Thanksgiving? Are
Yeah,
you
given
uh
given
are you going down to see your mommy?
Yeah, yeah. Me and my sister are planning on making a day trip down there. We'll be back like probably like she has my sister has to work on Black Friday, so
Mm,
um, yep. So
okay.
we're pretty much just day tripping, come back like Friday morning at the latest.
Hmm. Yeah, it's not a bad drive. Nice little
No,
jaunt.
it's really not.
And
Yeah,
I think we're supposed to get snow maybe this weekend, but I don't think we're getting it Friday. So,
yeah, that is a concern. Hopefully we miss it. Um,
okay.
but yeah, it's
Well,
nice to live in your hometown and be able to drive home for the holidays. I appreciate being able to do that. So,
yeah. Yeah,
uh,
that I don't make you work on Friday.
yeah, no,
Um, yeah, I think I'm glad to have a couple of days off. I have promised myself, we'll see if I can hold to this, that I will not do any work on Thursday. So we're gonna see. I might send a couple emails. But I'm gonna try to
that's
not
good.
do any work on Thursday.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but we'll see. And man, I'll tell you what, I'm also I'm just pretty tired right now. Feeling a little drained. I don't know how you're feeling. Semester's coming to an end and we got a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah, the holidays are gonna be nice. Take a break and get some rest and breathe for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, I got like we're not. Well, I have to teach the capstone at Columbus State. We're not meeting today, but there is homework due. they're they're supposed to keep the train moving for this project, so I'll have a little bit of that to do later this evening before I head out. So yeah, it's just like wall to wall. I come back on Friday. I'm probably gonna keep working on stuff just to keep it moving because I don't know. We just got to position well for the new year. I think uh,
Mm-hmm.
enter into December really strong and come around the new year with some goals.
Some goals.
I think
Yeah.
it's the
Well,
way to go.
speaking of goals, a reminder that the Sandbox.Space, we have our Discord is now open. We are taking community members. It is free to be a community member. And so we're starting to spread the word. We're going to be doing a soft launch in December. Sorry, readjusting with a dog in my lap. We got a soft launch in December, and then we will be launching for Real Bees in January. And we're going to start doing a lot of fun stuff. We had some really good conversations about programming. We're going to do some workshops and what's going on, babes? Do you need to get up? Here's baby. Hello. Hello. I'm a dog. Let's put her there. I don't know what she wants. If she wants to just rearrange her. But yeah, we're gonna do some workshops, classes, community events, all sorts of fun stuff. And then also, if you just want to get it on your calendar, I believe is it the 17th? I should know this. The COG holiday party
That sounds
is
right to me.
no, I think it's the 20th. Yeah, it's the 20th.
Oh, I have something else on the 17th.
Yeah, so Saturday on the 20th, there's the COG holiday party. Also, if you're in Central Ohio and you want to come visit that, so thecog, COGG.com if you want to get more information. But otherwise, yeah, we're kind of just cruising into the end times here, I think.
Oh, you can say that. Yeah, it's everything's kind of wild. So
Oh,
just
yeah.
kind of sitting on our goals and plans and hoping the world is stable enough to not pull the rug out from under us again.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let me grab our first little item here. There's a couple of things to chat about, but so our first one, these are all from Games Industry .biz. But Embracer sells off Arc Games and Cryptic Studios. Embracer has divested another two studios from its sprawling portfolio. Arc Games and Cryptic Studios have been purchased by a new entity, Project Golden Arc, which is led by members of the Arc Games management team and funded by Hong Kong firm XD Inc. Arc Games is a publisher of live service games such as Star Trek Online, Neverwinter, and the Remnant series, along with Torchlight. I enjoyed Torchlight when I played it, and Hyper Light Breaker. Cryptic Studios were the developer of Neverwinter and Star Trek Online. The proceeds of the sale amount to about $30 million. So it seems like Embracer. I always like to just kind of keep an eye on Embracer because they're sort of a notoriously shitty company, investment firm. And so I'm always kind of curious what they're up to. And it seems like my hope would be, as a positive person in the world, trying to look for the positive outlook, is that maybe by Embracer divesting itself of some of these groups, they'll be able to actually focus on the studios that they do have and treat those with thought and care. But I don't know. Tom, what do you think?
I think they're just like it's so similar to like private equity in general. I mean, it's like a private equity model of just like cat shit, sit on IP, kill development because it costs money to develop.
Yeah.
Wait for something magical to happen. It's like a lot of wishful thinking with that kind of strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, own a bunch of property so nobody else can do something with it, and then eventually somebody might beg and pay you enough money to free something out from under your control. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, they owned Gearbox for a while, but I think Gearbox is owned by. Let me see here. Yeah, they're owned by Take Two
Maybe
now.
are we burning our Embracer Group bridge here? They're not gonna want to invest in us if we're crap talking them on the internet.
Look, the way I work, you know me. The way I work is like just be better. Like I don't crap talk people for the sake of getting clicks or causing
no, for
strife.
sure.
So
Yeah,
like if you don't want me to say bad things about you, then just be better. Just be a good company. Like I don't think that's too much to ask. I'm ripping on Apple these days and like, I love Apple. I've been an Apple
yeah,
guy since the 80s. I own Apple stock. And like
yeah.
particularly the companies that I own stock in, I feel like I have what would you call it?
Vested interest.
Yeah, well, I
you got
mean,
some skin in the game.
yeah, there's the skin in the game part of it, the financial part, but I feel like if I'm buying stock, if I'm tethered to a company in that way, then I also have expectations that they're going to run in a positive form, and I would rather have them run as good companies and maybe lose a little money than be shifty and shady and whatnot. And so, whatever. But Embracer does not have the best track record of being a good company.
Yeah,
They were a big part. Some of our friends were caught in the Lost Boys layoffs and stuff, and that was probably a result, like with Embracer. And so it's just kind of one of those things where, just be better. You've got all this money, you've got all this time, like just do good stuff, make good games. Like, I don't know. Am I being
yeah.
naive? Is like spending time and making good products? Do we just not care about that as a
Like
society anymore?
purport to care about the games industry and then don't let people make anything. Just kind of squat on them and ask them why they aren't a magic money box.
Yeah. We got a
Like
we
it's
got a chat. They said they say handsome Argembarger and cool Chris. You're the
yeah, yeah,
handsome.
yeah.
You're the handsome one. I'm the cool one, I guess,
Buttering us up,
in this
yeah.
duo.
Well, you got your charms. We both do. We
Thank you,
both
Tom.
do.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Okay, so this is the one I really want to talk about. Are you ready? So this is again from gamesindustry.biz. Ubisoft's AI NPC project can now deliver sarcastic GMs, helpful teammates, and hidden lore, and is being play tested now. So this is a
Oh wow.
long article. I'm not going to read all of it, but
Yeah.
so it's the product has expanded to an internal team of now up to 80 people developing in-house middleware that connects a wide range of external AI models with the company's Snowdrop and Anvil game engines and supports internal teams in building that into their games. Concurrently, it's developing its own quote unquote playable experiences. The team is careful not to call them demos that highlight potential applications. The company let me squat up with the teammates at the event in Paris this week and revealed that it's being put through its paces by both internal studios and external testers, touting feedback from hundreds of users on its Ubisoft Connect program. So, in essence, again, I would highly recommend reading this in full for chat, but in essence, it is attempting to use AI to create lots and lots of NPC behaviors, including dialogue, conversation, combat, all that stuff. So, Thomas.
Yeah, we want to drop the link in chat for the chatters.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I post on the YouTube thing, so here you go. There you go.
Not true.
So, what do we think, my man? We're using
That's a
AI.
lot of compute. It's
The
a
new
lot of
AI.
computers churning on some complete fictional world. Now that's, I mean, if you have more than, I mean, there's already, I mean, it's such, like, people got so upset. I still remember when, like, Sim City was, like, always online and you had to be on the internet to play it. And there was, like, a furor about it. Like, people, it's up, like, people were, like, completely in arms about why should I have to have my computer talk to a server to play the game that I own to like do stuff that my should just be able to be done on my
Oh,
disk.
no, we lost
And
that
now
battle a long
everybody's
time ago.
we're so far from that now. We're like like there's a lot of people who are against it, but the people who are for it are just like so gung ho, like let's hook all the things up to all the other things. There's been a lot of interesting, like on YouTube. There's been some creator, like there's been a kind of a preview of this idea because I know there's been creators who have been kind of making a living by like nurturing a particular like AI companion thing. Like I'm thinking one in particular was like a guy added an AI entity to Skyrim, like had a bunch of adventures in Skyrim with them, and then like lifted the model and its memories out and put it in a different game, like put it in Fallout basically.
Okay.
And the AI just was like, he was like a Nord from Skyrim and like walking around with this AI, like talking about the modern fall, like the postmodern Fallout, like dystopia world, and having to explain like basic technologies and stuff. So like, there's like obviously there's a hunger for like people want a game that's actually alive. Like people want to play a game that is truly going to change based on their actions in like an unpredictable way. So I think on that front there can be a lot of good that comes out of this. I mean, it's also gonna like I don't know if we thought the voice actors were having it rough. If all they're doing is coming in and letting their voice get voice cloned so an AI can say whatever it wants in their voice, then I
Yeah.
you always lose something. But I know people are craving this kind of like truly living world with actual thinking machine that can respond. And I personally, instead of trying to like, and is this group related to? I saw there was like a couple weeks ago there was like a real kind of cringy like AI, like a demo of like an AI first person shooter. I don't know if did you
Mm.
did you catch that
No,
when that
I
came
didn't
out?
see
Like
that. No.
it was pretty bad, like just because it was like very obvious, like so much like hallucinating and your classic like AI weirdness. But it's actually a really like there's a lot of good videos breaking it down and just showing like why this is nonsense. Like basically like just showed like a first person shooter game going through very stereotypical game like flow type thing, like cutscenes and stuff, and just like shifting from environment in ways that didn't make spatial sense, and just trying to pass it like this is the future of gaming. Like we're not even gonna like pre-plan the missions. We're just gonna like drop a bunch of stuff into a world and let the AI figure out what should happen. But like I'd love to see this done on a game like kind of what like Left for Dead was doing with the AI director, and like trying to make the game adaptive to what the players were doing, balance it for difficulty and stuff.
Hmm.
If that's what we have the model doing, like kind of being part of the game manager that's sitting on top of everything and like figuring out what should happen, like I'm kind of for that more than trying to pretend to be an NPC within the game. To me,
So,
that just feels like inefficient.
yeah, so I
Like,
think that that's a an important point in this conversation. Like AI gets thrown around a lot, right? And I think that we have been using in the games industry AI in some form. We've been calling it AI for eons, right? Whether it's behind the scenes balancing or NPC behaviors or whatever. But traditionally, I guess I don't know if traditionally is the right word, in game development, it
you're getting
hasn't
kind of
really.
robot-y. The
Yeah.
audio's kind of sorry, break your flow.
What I didn't. What's
Uh,
going on?
That's better now. It was just getting robot-y, like lagging or something.
Oh, I don't know. Um, well,
Uh,
also, I can't necessarily fix that, but also I do
yeah,
record these videos direct to my
locally. Yeah,
computer. So, uh,
do that.
but like, anyway, what I was saying is when we're talking about like NPC behaviors and stuff as AI in games traditionally, it's not really AI the way we think of it now. It's more a set of like parameters and like logic loops and things like that. So it kind of goes through this list. So I agree with you that like I would love to see, for example, and I'm sure Rockstar is doing some stuff, right? What would GTA look like if the NPCs were really plugged into this like simulation, behavior simulation stuff and really responding to you driving the car around or, hitting people or talking to people or throwing
Mm.
things or shooting? Like what kind of really cool AI interactions can that result in? Like I'm totally down with that because there probably is a, if you want to call it like a glide path to more realistic NPC behavior than what could be coded through a lot of these traditional logic loops. And correct me if I'm wrong here, but what I really take issue with is like you said, oh, are we just going to throw a bunch of AI characters into space and have them create their own dialogue and their own story and their own narrative? Like maybe that could do some cool emergent gameplay stuff, but at that point, like what story are you telling as a developer? Like what themes are you trying to get across? Like I want to, if I want to play a game, particularly a game that's going to have like a narrative base to it, I want there to be a creator that's actually trying to relay some experience to me, not just
Mm.
a jumble of random computational nonsense.
Yeah, because like there's the it's a big data problem because like a game like GTA, it depends on how deep you would want to go with it, but like you know if you have a AI, because most of these NPCs and stuff, they're just getting spawned in when they're needed. They're not like persistent entities in the world.
True.
But like you could, because like, and it always seems to come back to like Dwarf Fortress just leading the charge, because that game doesn't use AI at all, but it solves that big data problem of like if it spawns an NPC that because it needs one, like the towns are kind of abstracted as blobs of population, and if something crazy happens, like a dragon busts in and like torches a house, it's gonna like decide that some of those nameless numbers in the population pool were actually like important because they like had an experience with this dragon. Now they have a memory of the dragon. Now they're being tracked as historical figures. Like that game tracks what every entity in the world knows as a fact, like, and doesn't use AI at all to do it. It's just a real complicated set of levers and switches, basically.
Yeah.
So if you used AI for that, where you're like sitting over top of everything and just kind of making sure there's like consistency and like, if you have a random experience with an NPC in a village, like when you come back at the end of the game, like that they would remember that or something like that's where it can be good. Because if you're just using the AI to be like, yeah, it's gotta be like not one to one with the characters, because I'm just thinking like the data problem of, if the AI is puppeting multiple characters in the game, having to remember what each of them remembers separately, and the more you play, the bigger that data set becomes. You got to figure out what to cut off. Like, where are you just going to dump their memory and stop tracking like everything they've ever done? Because, like, that is like, if you're going to have a continuous, it's not just going to be like random puppet show, like on demand with no persistence or consistency.
Yeah.
Like, AI can do that pretty well, but if you want it to actually remember stuff, then you're just asking for massive amount of data just to help the AI stay on the rails that it's gotten onto. So
Yeah.
yeah, it just feels very wasteful. Like
Well,
we
in,
should be
in
using it in the most efficient for the
well,
most efficient purposes for gameplay. But
yeah. Well, right now the most efficient purposes for AI is to sell us more crap and to find ways to,
yeah,
you know, we've got our best minds on Skinner box nonsense to sell us more
yeah.
garbage. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
For
Outer
every for
Worlds,
every AI that's helping with like medical diagnosis, you've got the AI that's just looking at everybody and trying to figure out what ad
oh,
to show
it's
them. Like,
probably a 10-to-1 ratio at least, I would
yeah,
think. But yeah,
yeah.
some of that's happening with like so Outer Worlds. You talk about like levers and switches. When you're thinking about game design, a lot of times it really is just like a yes or no, right? Did the character do this? Did the character, the character being the player, answer this
Mhm.
question in this way? So there's a couple instances, I guess I haven't encountered it, but in the Outer Worlds, mostly because I'm not a horrible monster, but where you can do a mission completed a certain way, like talk to the NPC quest giver. All right, maybe killing me here. Do I get down? All right, let's get you down. Sorry. Uh, and then after you turn in the quest, like you kill the NPC, the quest giver, and then the quest giver still shows up later on somewhere else.
Mm.
And so there's a lot of that can be like oversight on the developer's end, because you have to have some sort of database entry for, okay, completed quest using this result, but now the NPC is dead, so the NPC should not appear here. But if you're just looking at a database, it's like, okay, completed result, yes. So now NPC moves to this location, yes, no kind of thing. It's a very sort of binary example, but there's a possibility that having some sort of AI, I don't know, GM, like if you will, or like a dungeon master or something like that can kind of keep an eye on all of these little things. And even if the database is like, well, this character should be here, the AI can remember that, like, oh no, after you completed the quest, you strapped a bunch of dynamite to him and then walked out the door. Like that kind of stuff could be pretty interesting or useful. But
Yeah,
yeah,
because
good.
that can be more useful on even the dev side. Like, analyze our story graph and all of the little moving parts in our story graph and look for like contradictions.
Yeah.
Like, if
Well,
it can look at your whole massive tree, because that if we're using it to enable larger massive story trees, that's pretty cool. Like, I don't have any problem with that. If we're using it on the dev side just to look for loopholes and make sure everything's like super tidy, like, I mean, games like Baldur's Gate 3, I mean, that's kind of an immaculate big old story ball, like that. I kind of like be surprised if they didn't on some degree have some like analysis tools to like look for look for bad paths that don't make sense for what they were trying to do, and like put in those, like, because there's a lot of weird little Easter egg paths too, that it was just like kind of the devs thought of everything sort of
Mm-hmm.
deal. Like every little weird possible combination of decisions can lead to like some super obscure dialogue that, like, is just kind of crazy obscure. But um or what's that other game that is kind of a dense, it's kind of story ball like that? Ooh, like Disco Elysium is kind of an example. Like, and that's a more of a, like an indie studio effort to do something like that. Like you're having like 16 characters in your head all having dialogue with each other while you're like playing this very multi-branching story on the ground. Like that's an intense lifting. Like it's really impressive. Like trying to like describe how they built the pyramids. Like just people doing that with their own human brains, taking notes about stuff and like plugging in like dialogue into a tree. And now like AI can, you can lean on that to just gen stuff up on the fly. There's nothing wrong with that per se. Like some of my favorite D&D adventures are like the DM is just winging it and there's no plan. Like that could be the best sometimes in its place when it's like desired. But it can be
Yeah.
dangerous for like a story if you care about characters and the AI is just going to decide to kill somebody because whatever reason for the story, like because the AI is ultimately in control and the original storytellers are just trying to give it a good set of starting prompts to hopefully keep it on the rails. Um,
Yeah, I think that I'm not totally anti AI. We've talked about AI a lot on this show. I just for me my concern is always you look at the business end, and again, I'm a business guy, right? And I understand all of these elements.
mhm,
When the desire to just generate so much profit is your main goal, and it's just like, guys, when you're making a piece of art, some sort of experience, a video game, a movie, a book, whatever, like the journey is the product, not the
mhm,
end result. And if you're just chunking out crap with AI because that's the easier way to make your next game, but the game isn't saying anything, it isn't talking about any issues, there's no meaningful characters. And this ties back into something we've talked about a lot, which is that AI right now, at least, it's not capable of generating new stuff. Like it can kind of like jumble ideas together and maybe give you a new idea,
mhm.
but it doesn't understand the context of the idea that it's giving you, right? So we're just mishmashing a bunch of crap together. And like, I don't want to play that game. I don't want to play a game where I'm spending 20 or 40 hours in a game that's just a jumbled mess of whatever bullshit the AI happened to dump out at me. And then I finish it and I'll be like, okay, like it seems like we're heading towards we're already there, but this just
Mhm.
seems like a faster exponential way of creating more mediocre products. We'll be creating more
Right.
products and we'll be creating them probably less expensively, but at the end of the day, they're all going to be boring. They're not going to be worth remembering or spending your time on. And
Yeah.
I'm a big believer. And this is one of my like people think I'm crazy, but and I say what I'm about to say is slightly hyperbolic, though although true. I'm a big believer that your time is valuable. All of our time is valuable. I mean, you know as well as anyone, Tom, that my best friend is going through a hell of a time right now, and his time could be very, very limited. And
Mhm.
you just realize how short life is. And I don't want to be wasting my fucking life playing some dumbass game made by a bunch of bots because
Mhm.
Ubisoft is too cheap to actually hire an actual narrative team that wants to create something. And my little controversial take is always like I think Disney is responsible for more loss of life than possibly any other cause ever existing outside of maybe war and the flu. Because I joke about this, but like think about all the post credit sequences that Marvel does, and
Mhm.
so that's what 10 to 15 minutes of waiting for the credits to get to the post credit scene, right? Times that by how many movies they release in a year, times that by how many people see those movies and just in the movie theater alone. That's a lot of life lost of people just sitting in a chair waiting to see what the post credit sequence is. Now, yes, I'm being slightly hyperbolic here. Obviously, you can just go, but like I don't wait for credits. As soon as the movie's over,
Oh
I'm out.
yeah,
I'm out.
you're not hanging out with me and my friends. We're the like just pointing at funny names in the credits. Like, who the heck is that? That's
No, man. I got
that's
stuff
nice
to do. I
juvenile
got a life
behavior.
to
Yeah,
lead, man.
yeah, for sure. No, that's yeah, that's a good that's a funny point. Yeah, just person yeah, people it's calculate person hours like for a minute. Like one of the things with my project class with my students, we're just simulating a studio, so we're simulating like project management and like invoicing and it's like, "Hey, I made a task for the in-class meeting and assigned everybody to it." Guess what? That's like it's like 100 person hours like to hang out in class together like
Yeah.
this important time and you should focus on the time that time because it's
Yeah.
there's that's a meaningful chunk of just people coming together for the same reason.
Yeah, I mean, you
And I
know me.
got
That's how I handle our business meetings too. Like, I hate when people are significantly late because it's
mhm,
like, oh, I'm sorry, I was only late by 5 minutes, but that 5 minutes of your time was also 5 minutes of everybody else's time
yep,
waiting for you.
yep,
So
yep, yep.
that
Like a half it could be like a half an hour for like
yeah,
six
yeah,
person meeting, yeah.
yeah. You've got 5 or 6 people in a meeting. You've lost half an hour of time, and I'm not saying like literally everything that you have to do has to be like productive and generate revenue. But if you're just, I've got a couple friends uh, that are just habitually late, always for everything,
Mhm,
and they're just kind of like, well, that's just me. It's like, well, that might just be you, but what you're also telling the other people around you is that you don't value their time. You don't care
mhm,
about their time, and in the video game space right now, there's
yeah,
just so much garbage that does not respect your time.
yeah,
It's trying to like it's trying to get swole. We got to buff up those, pump up those hours, those playable hours. But like,
mhm,
and Ubisoft, I think, is a big offender of this. Like the Assassin's Creed games, I don't know,
yeah,
60% of what you're doing in that game is just like regurgitated copy and paste nonsense.
yeah, or like fetch quest.
Yeah.
Yep, or like just like find the collectibles in the world. Like,
hmm
okay.
It's funny.
Yeah.
I've been playing Outer Worlds too, and like all of those quests and stuff, I find pretty interesting the way you can go about them. And I came across when I was playing my first playthrough, I came across the first like fetch quest, and I was like, oh man, are we really doing this? Like, I thought we were better than this. And thankfully, each planet only has one of them, and
Mm,
you don't have to do them. They're not tied into like the story in any way. They're just like an ancillary thing you can do. And some of them, if you do them, I don't know if all of them, but like some of them, like there's a mural that you can piece together, and then that mural ends up on your ship, which is kind of cool. You're like, oh, there's the mural I
oh
found,
yeah.
but it's really
Full
just a fetch quest,
persistence.
right?
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah.
get you anywhere. And I was just like, this game didn't need these quests, you know? And on top of that, like you don't need it for the experience because you're gonna hit max level well before the final area anyway. And so, oh, hold on a second. A ghost just walked in. 1 second.
Whoa. I got a lawnmower in the background, so hopefully that's not coming through all the time. They are working right outside my house.
Yeah, I don't know if we had like a big gust of wind and my door just opened. I was like, oh, I guess my door will
Fun.
not.
Well, it could have been yeah, like that lobby room. Somebody like leave a
Yeah,
door open,
yeah, I can
something like
hear the
that.
wind outside, but I don't want Pumpkin running out there. She's a very curious cat, and she likes to, if that door opens, she wants to know what's out there.
Yeah, I get you.
Um,
Yeah, I was thinking just what you said. Like, I don't know, people are like trying, and the whole problem, in my opinion, is that people aren't getting charged for what it actually costs to run these models. They're all being subsidized. In some cases, like two companies subsidizing each other for like so they can get
oh
tell
yeah,
investors it's like they're
it's kind of it
generating.
feels like a very big shell game right now.
Definitely. And if people were getting charged what the machines actually cost to run and like the bandwidth for what's going on, like I think you'd see the usage drop precipitously, which would be bad for these companies that are telling a story about how necessary their technology is. but like you said, like, what do you want to play a computer's approximation of a meaningful story, or do you want to like that probably that people like were involved in humans were would be involved in some degree, but like you could play a much more meaningful handcrafted story that a lot of people worked really hard on, and like it. Yeah, it's that. Yeah, that's it. Do you want to play a facsimile of creativity? Like, do you want to play
Yeah, exactly.
an average, a lowest common denominator like game? Uh,
Yeah.
I guess people who don't know any better,
See,
they
this is,
can't really tell the difference. All the
yeah.
boomer money.
Well, I mean, we could have probably an hour conversation alone on media literacy these days. But yeah, I just think it's a shame, one, that people don't respect their time and money very well, but also it just seems like societally we are headed towards, so like the base claim of capitalism is that it spurs innovation and it brings better products to the market because the market demands them and is willing to pay for the better product. Unfortunately, I think we've seen definitely over the past couple of decades that people, in fact, are not willing to pay for the better product. And sometimes people don't know what the better product is because it's so obfuscated these days. But more importantly, companies have realized that if all of their competitors, even if they're not sort of like sitting in a room smoking cigars and twirling their mustaches, if all of the competitors in an industry sort of like silently agree to just make subpar products, then they all can just make subpar products and we all suffer for it. And I think that's unfortunately what we're seeing in coming down the line in the games industry, is that if a lot of these larger companies decide that they're just going to make more money in a stable environment by using AI and generative art and whatever, making subpar products, then they'll just do that. Like if Ubisoft, we're picking on Ubisoft now because this article is about them, but if Ubisoft just decides that like, hey, we can spend $50 million to make a game instead of $200 million, and that $50 million game will make $100 million or $150 million instead of $300 or $400 million, but there's a lot more risk on the $250 million budget game. Let's just take the $100 million every year, right? Mm-hmm. We'll just make these subpar products and we'll pull in $100 million.
The games.
Yeah,
they're not playing their games.
If they don't actually care about the quality, and this, I had a really great conversation. Maybe mark this, people in the audience. We can mark this 10:38 a.m. on Wednesday, November 26th. But we were talking about Rockstar and GTA and how they've delayed the game twice. I was like, I don't work at Rockstar. I do know people that work there. I occasionally talk to them and whatnot. The impression that I get is that Rockstar really cares about the quality of their product, particularly GTA. Like Rockstar Games is Grand Theft Auto. Like they are interchangeable. And every game that Rockstar makes, whether it's Red Dead or Bully or whatever, is a test case for what features and technologies they can include in Grand Theft Auto. And for them, they're willing to delay another year on a game that already, rumor has it, if you include marketing, is getting close to a $2 billion project. They are willing to eat that money so that when they release the game, it is fantastic, right? Mm-hmm. Not all companies work like that. Naughty Dog works like that. I think Bungie works like that generally. Blizzard's back and forth these days on if they work like that, but there's a fair number of companies that they just want to chunk things out. And maybe that's because they've got investors, like, we talked about Embracer earlier. Maybe they got investors that are just sitting over them, telling them, okay, we got to get this game out, yada, yada. But I just think it's a shame because I love this industry. I've chosen to be in this industry. I could get paid a lot more and probably experience significantly less stress if I was in another industry. But I want to see this industry succeed. I want to see our community succeed. And I want us to do it by creating good work.
Yeah. I think Rockstar, one of the things I think helps them propel towards this, other than, yeah, I mean, their whole history is just a story of them like pushing crazy hard for things, whatever they want. But like, just looking at, because when Grand Theft Auto Online came out, I was pretty skeptical. I was like, seems like you're just following the MMO train.
Mm-hmm.
But there's people who've been playing it since launch. There's like, sub communities in that game that have been playing for 10 years and they have,
Sure.
memories and culture within the game. So it's like, when you got a fan base like that, I mean, that, if you can't appreciate that as like an IP holder, like that you have a fan base that's willing to live in your game, like, then yeah, you probably don't deserve to have that intellectual property. Like, if you're not going to give the fan base like the respect like that they deserve for loving your game so much. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, Rockstar would be foolish to rush something out because their fan base is like super, just like, important to them. Like, if they let their fans down, like, they really don't have much left to stand on at that point. It's gonna People are gonna quit playing, the whole thing bursts. So, like,
Yeah, and
yeah,
I think they want to as well. They've never
mm,
released as an individual, you might not like a particular Grand Theft Auto game or maybe Grand Theft Auto in general, but every mainline Grand Theft Auto game, and for many people, a lot of the spin-offs and story games have been great. Grand Theft Auto 3, I mean, changed open world games, hands
yeah,
down. GTA
for
4 is
sure.
considered one of the best games ever made, like narratively. I think GTA 5, like simulation and gameplay wise, that game does some amazing things. GTA 5. That game is incredible. And then, like you mentioned, that's what GTA Online was built off of. So if GTA 6 comes out and it's a disaster, my guess is, and I don't know this for sure, my guess is like, I don't get the impression that GTA 6 is like having major issues and that's why they delayed it. The impression that I get, and again, I don't know anything behind the scenes, this is what I read and through interviews and stuff, is that they're probably totally content complete. They probably have everything in the game. Like, it's probably capable of being shipped right now, but it probably is not hitting the performance level that they want. And if I had to guess in the back of my brain, and if anybody is watching this from Rockstar, feel free to let me know. But
Yeah,
my guess would be that they are probably trying to peg a 60 FPS release for the PlayStation 5 Pro. And they're trying to really optimize and get the performance into a good space so that when it comes out, they can at least say, hey, this runs at 60 FPS on the PS5 Pro. That would be my guess, but I don't know.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it could be that. It could be like, if they are trying to do if they're trying to do something more like hybrid online kind of stuff,
Hmm.
like lessons from GTA Online, and they're
I
trying to
thought they
like,
said that. Let me check out. I thought they said uh, that GTA 6 won't have online components.
okay,
Um, like the single player version won't have online
yeah,
components. I'm sure that they will eventually transition GTA 5
yeah,
online into, or it's called GTA Online for a reason, right? I'm sure they will transition that to the GTA 6
yeah,
tech stack, I would assume.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, because I'm not sure if there's any kind of consideration like that, like if they're trying to coordinate with GTA Online and like other stuff. I'm just trying to think of things that might be causing unforeseen scope creep, and like online stuff is a big one. Obviously, if they're meddling with AI, then that's gonna be a. Hopefully, they aren't, but like they could be doing some like micro. Even like, there's some of the little nano models and stuff that are super duper small can be very effective for what they do, like, and in some cases can even be harder to trick because they're not overthinking. As I saw this is completely unrelated. It's just the AI is the only connection, but I saw a article that was talking about a new way to maliciously prompt AI is to just express it in poetry, and poetry seems to like captivate the AI and get it to ignore safeguards that it would. But the little micro and nano models are way more resistant to that. Interestingly, so there's something about being too smart and like overthinking and
Hmm.
stuff. So like, yeah, there could potentially like if they were trying to just do some kind of strategic small little piece of AI to enhance the living world or something. Like I have no idea what. I'm sure that's the closely guarded secret, like the GTA 6 tech stack and what new features they're bringing to like the open world experience.
Yeah.
Um, Stuff like persistent memories for NPCs, like that again is some like Dwarf Fortress stuff. So like if they got into that, like that's also big data. There's
Yeah.
a lot to think about if you try to make it so people aren't just spawning in and out like cut from whole cloth. But that's a quick
Yeah.
way to make a living world. I mean, if you're simulating economies of buildings and like doing like a Sim City of
Well,
the
a
city,
lot of
and
that is
like you could,
kind of what we were wanting to do with Project Arc, to be able to
yeah,
have a consistent gameplay where the characters that exist, since the game would take place over hundreds or maybe 1,000 years, that the characters would have a consistent like framework
yeah,
around them. And what would be even cooler is if other characters remembered the previous characters and they learned from
yeah.
them or whatnot.
Mhm.
Or like the son of one character was like, you killed my father and now I'm gonna remember
Yeah.
that or whatever. I didn't mean to cut you off. We're
Like
getting a little tight on time. I want to
yeah.
jump to this.
Oh,
This is
we got
kind of,
another story.
yeah, this is another interesting story. I don't know how much there's to talk about it, but I just saw it. So
Yeah.
here we go.
I just say I would love a GTA just let if you did a rampage in a neighborhood and blew up a bunch of property, like that neighborhood is like actually screwed. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
like living world economic damage would be really interesting.
totally.
Uh,
So here, this is To the Moon Expo. I probably could have counted the number of attendees on one hand.
was this like a crypto expo or
No, so the aim was to bring together 15,000 of the UK's gaming community. But when To the Moon Expo opened at the National Exhibition Centre in Birmingham on November 12th, so 2 weeks ago, it quickly became clear that those hoped for attendance numbers wouldn't materialize. Pictures soon emerged of empty spaces in the NEC hall and sparsely attended talks. The organizers have not confirmed attendance figures, but attendees that gamesindustry.biz has spoken to estimate that the number of visitors on each day of the 2-day event were in the hundreds rather than the thousands. So what went wrong? Attendees, speakers, and other involved with the event paint a poor picture of organization, negative marketing, overambitious goals, with some fearing that the event could cause reputational damage to the UK gaming space. Quote, I've been told by multiple people about a comparison to be made with the infamous Willy Wonka experience, as though this is where gaming's very own equivalent, said one attendee who works in the games industry, but who asked to remain anonymous. And to be honest, between the not very decorated, almost minimalist looking NEC when you look behind the stalls and the barren attendance, I can see where they're coming from. At the price point that was charged to attendees, the consensus I've heard across the indie, AA, and AAA sources is that people expected better. So I'm kind of curious what the cost was here. I don't know if it says it anywhere. This is again another larger article. Let me see if there's a price
that
here.
picture was like looking like Wednesday at GDEX or something
Oh,
like
here's another at a steep
the
price.
day
Okay,
before GDEX.
yeah.
That's
What is this? Something didn't add up. I checked the companies. Have 15,000
scam.
attendees.
They took the bag and ran? Question mark.
Travel costs. Okay, as humans, blah blah blah. Yeah, we get all that. Booth staffing. I just want to know what the cost was.
Oh, to like go as a dev.
No, I wanted to know what the exhibition price was because
Oh,
they're saying it says that steep prices could.
they'd probably have to check their venue.
Yeah, I don't see. I don't see the cost. Lots of empty spaces. There's a League of Legends tournaments with a £50,000 prize pool.
Yeah. One person showed up and
Oh, the
took
esports
the
zone
money.
suffered from problems throughout the event, with participants reporting that the organizers attempted to run a League of Legends tournament with a $50,000 prize pool, or sorry, £50,000, whatever, prize pool over the venue's Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Yep. We uh we would never try to do that because that would not work at all. Because uh that is wild. Uh,
Yeah,
wait, did that event pay out 50K pounds? Like, that
that's what
sounds
it says.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we'll post it in the.
Wow.
But yeah, I've found that I was just like kind of interesting to see that as
Yeah. What
someone.
is they negative marketing? What are they? So
Uh,
like,
I don't know.
there was a section near the bottom of negative marketing. I
Yeah,
wonder what
there were dozens
they're
of
talking
us.
about. The
Yeah,
yeah.
that's kind
Well,
of
yeah,
wild.
people talking about how nobody's there on the day of would be like pretty negative marketing. But
Yeah.
like, if they were just like trying to be ironic hipster edge lords and market like in the lead up and just weren't making people feel good about it, then yeah, I mean that is a that is really
Yeah,
that is
that's
really
rough.
tough to see. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I feel bad for whoever went there and was like actually genuinely trying to have a good time.
Yeah,
Like,
I would love to see uh to the moon ticket costs. Let's see if we can find what a ticket costs for this thing.
sure, the attendees probably are like forged. They have forged a bond and like mutual despair of like I'm sure they people made friends there. I'm sure they did. I'm sure friends were made. With people mutually just being bewildered by how bad it is.
Looks like
Seeing that.
according to
Uh,
AI overview, so take this for whatever it's worth. The cost for the Tuna Moon Expo was £74. 74 per ticket. It was considered a business event for a 2-day thing. I wonder if we can find to the moon game event exhibit booth cost. Let's see. Come on, Google. Generate some AI. The indie game event was 120, it says. It gave you a table and 2 chairs.
NEC Birmingham.
Booth costs at the game conventions. Oh, this is general. Say, I don't know if that's seems a little iffy, but anyway, 74. I mean, we charge about 60 for a 3-day event. Of course, we have like the pro version and stuff, but anyway, just figured to bring that up. It's rough stuff, man. It's creating an event, particularly a first year event, and expecting 15,000 people to show.
It's
Yeah.
like the NEC Birmingham, at least again according to AI overview, but they have a few spaces. There's a Concord. There's like the halls start at 8K pounds. There's a concourse suite for 14K. There's like breakout areas for 2,500 or more. So not a terribly expensive venue. 8K pounds for an expo hall. I don't know. I
Mm-hmm.
guess that's just where they start though. That might be like the smallest hall. Meeting room higher. Interested, yeah. Um, us event planners and our machinations.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right. Well,
space.
anyway, on that note, we are
Yeah.
still trying to navigate our GDEX time slot. We're looking at the 3rd or 4th weekend of September. So we'll let everybody know about that. But yeah, I think this is a good point to stop. So this has been episode 88 of the Sandbox.Space weekly podcast. Reminder, we do this every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/the GDEX. We also have our Discord for the Sandbox.Space incubator is now live. And so you can find that on the Sandbox.Space. Feel free to join. It's free to be a community member. And we're going to start getting our paid memberships going in December and January. But otherwise, Tom, do you have any closing thoughts as we end? Is there something you are grateful for as we go into Thanksgiving here?
Yeah, I'm glad we're still hanging in there and pushing forward. We're excited about GDEX 2026. should stay tuned. I'm sure we'll have news about that.
Tom, you are sounding like
Maybe
a
like,
crazy robot man here.
yeah, you are. I was able
Yeah.
to, you sound like a robot to me, so it's totally fair.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it's on your end, Tom, because I'm coming through fine on Twitch.
I mean, I have pretty good internet, but yeah, let me just block. Okay, maybe that'll fix it. Um,
Yeah, there we go.
but yeah, cool. Well, yeah, like I said, I'm thankful for we're still hanging in there. I'm excited for GDEX 2026. We're gearing up, and hopefully there will be more news soon, for people. But just look out like September 2026, sometime in there. We'll be back, and um, it'll be a great time. We're reaching out to folks already, like trying to build some momentum. So super exciting. We got internal projects that are keeping us going. So we're feeling healthy for Thanksgiving. In my opinion, I think things are going pretty good. So I'm thankful for that. Got my sister through college this last year, so I'm super thankful for that being over, and we can just both focus on building ourselves up and fully leaving fully leaving college debt behind us.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of my next phase is just getting us both like in a good financial position personally, and I think we're well on track for that. So like I said, it's just good that we got work right now. Not everybody does. We recognize that. Like it's hard out there right now. It's a scary world right now. So yeah, just if anybody needs help, jump in the sandbox and just ask for help. Like we're around. Like we're happy to point people and whatever we think is gonna be useful. So
Yeah.
yeah, just come drop in and hang out with us. We're around.
Awesome. Well, Tom, I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for a good team. We've been grinding together we're getting close to we're on 13 years now, right? If math works. So working on this, and yeah, I'm appreciative of the community and everybody that has supported us over the years. I know I unfortunately have a feeling that it's going to be a rough, probably at least year, if not two. So as Tom said, if we can help you out in any way, join the Sandbox Discord. We're here to try to help people be successful. That's ultimately how we're going to get through this, is by helping each other out. So on behalf of everybody at Multivarious, at GDEX, and the Sandbox, I want to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. Super appreciate you being here. And on behalf of Baby, Pumpkin, our special guest Tom, and myself, thank you all for watching, and we will see you next week.
See everybody.